Hi, welcome to lecture 23, the second lecture of 8th week of game theory class. We have looked at the subgame perfect equilibrium of the bargaining game, and I want you to deepen your understanding of Nash equilibrium by making you think about the Nash equilibrium but not the subgame perfect equilibrium of this bargaining game. So you have a sense that Nash equilibrium can be something very ridiculous, and still that is Nash equilibrium. Okay. Now, this is not really the mathematical part, but today I'm gonna talk a little bit about the art of negotiation or art of bargaining. As I said, from my experience, bargaining happens every day, every moment. So everything is bargaining. Sunday morning, you wake up, and your family has different opinion what to eat. The first son wants Chinese, father wants Japanese, mom wants the Korean food. So they have to negotiate on that. So everything is negotiation, and the better negotiation skills, the better understanding on negotiation you have, your life can get better. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you actually 3 secrets of how to improve your negotiation. It's not guaranteed, but certainly worth try. The first important point of the negotiation is the deadline. Okay, what does that mean? Since we already know the subgame perfect equilibrium, it would be much easier to use our example and find our subgame perfect equilibrium when the Sarah still has a 1 o'clock class, but Jane's 1 o'clock class is cancelled. And I assume that at 1 o'clock, still the pizza has a value of 10. Okay, what is going to happen? So if they cannot make any agreement until 12:50, okay, as you can guess, I'm doing the backward induction. 12:50, they have to go to the 1300, 1 o'clock. Sarah kind of give up because she has to go to the class. On the other hand, Jane has no class. As soon as Sarah leaves, Jane can have the whole pizza at 1300, whose value is 10. This automatically means at 12:50, Jane has no reason to get anything under 10. Okay? Because anything under 10 like 9, Jane said no, wait 10 minutes, she'll get 10. So now Sarah understand all this and understand that the minimum she should give Jane at 12:50 is 10. Anything less than that, Sarah would get 0. So it's Sarah, 30 or 0, she will get 30. Why 30? Because the total is 40 at 12:50, so 40 minus 10 is 30. So she offers 30-10. Jane says, okay, what the heck? If I wait 10 minutes till 10, if I say yes, I get 10, so yes. So this 30 Sarah would get at 12:50 would be a cornerstone at 12:40 when Jane makes an offer. Jane knows that at least 30 should be offered to Sarah. As a result, Jane should get maximum 40. So 30, 40, and Sarah once again would say yes because that's the best she can get if she says no. So 40 should be guaranteed. Now Sarah, instead of 70-30 when Jane has a class, now offer 60-40. And Jane would say yes. Okay? And you can try if I ask you this in the exam, you have to write down the whole story, including the non-equilibrium path, subgame perfect equilibrium. Okay? But as long as the art of negotiation is concerned, Jane got a better hand because she has improved her payoff from 30 when she has a class to 40 when she does not have a class. Okay, so canceled class is much better than class. I mean, deadline is important in the way that if you do not have a deadline or if you do not have a tight deadline, then you are better. Think about that. Professor Han want to sell Mr. Park a ring, okay? Or apartment. The apartment is very easily $1 million US dollar. But then you got the information that Professor Han's daughter, by the way, I don't have a daughter, so don't worry about it. Daughter was kidnapped by some criminal, and if he does not pay the criminal 0.5 million, which is 500,000 US dollar until tomorrow, something bad will happen to Professor Han's daughter. Something like that. And you say, oh, I feel so sorry about Professor Han. And Professor Han said, okay, so I'm desperately want money. The only thing I have is my apartment. So can you pay me 1 million US dollar? Because it's worth 1 million. And probably the Mr. Park would say, oh, I'm very sorry for your daughter. And I know that it's $1 million in the market, but the maximum I can pay you is 500,000. If you don't like it, go out there and find someone else. Do you think would Professor Han be very angry and leave, or is he gonna accept this 500,000? Of course, cash. Mr. Park would say, I can give you 500,000 in cash right now, but anything more than that. If you want to sell your apartment any price higher than 500,000, go somewhere else. Professor Han has a daughter who's in danger and only 1 day left to find out 500,000, and Mr. Park might be the only guy. So he would say, okay, it's half the price, but I love my daughter. You can get it at $500,000 and give me the cash. What is happening? Here in this negotiation, don't think about the kidnapper. In this negotiation, Professor Han is in a very bad position. Why? Because he needs the money right now. Okay? On the other hand, Mr. Park is in a lucky position that he doesn't have a deadline. Professor Han, 1 day is the deadline. After 1 day, it's meaningless. Mr. Park, maybe more than 1 day. So Professor Han's deadline is much tighter than Mr. Park's. So it's only natural that Professor Han would lose in a bad position in this negotiation. As a result, his apartment, whose value is $1 million, is sold at 0.5 million, 500,000. Okay? Think about it, like you and your girlfriend want to plan on where to go in vacation or weekends. You're a man, you want to go to the baseball park. Your girlfriend want to go to ballet. If tomorrow you have a very important exam and your girlfriend doesn't, where would it be likely the destination of this weekend? The baseball? When you say baseball park, your girlfriend say, come on, let's go to something like high level ballet, musical and things like that. And she want to explain. Now, you really don't have time. Every minute counts for you because tomorrow exam is really important. Your typical reaction is, okay, I don't care, I'm so busy, just buy the ticket wherever you want to go and leave me alone. Which means because you cannot spend a lot of time on the negotiation, which means your deadline is so tight, you cannot win over your girlfriend today, who has lots of time compared to you. So this deadline is a really determining factor in any negotiation. Okay? But then you say like, oh, Professor Han, you talked about the art and skills and secrets of negotiation. But where is the secret? Like your daughter is kidnapped, sorry on that, and what else? You have a exam today, tomorrow, very important exam. Okay, sorry on that, but that has nothing to do with a skill or a secret. Okay, I'll tell you. Let's say my daughter is kidnapped and I want to sell my apartment. Should I say to Mr. Park, my daughter is kidnapped? I shouldn't. I would say like, oh, like I don't want to sell the apartment, but my wife want to do it. Just, but in reality, I don't want to sell. So I just pretend to be, searching the market. That's why I'm here. So you don't have to, buy the apartment kind of thing. I have plenty of time. I have no actually plan to sell my apartment. And kind of say, yeah, but I'm not greedy at all. So maybe if someone pay cash immediately, I can get like 0.9 million, 900,000. And Mr. Powell will say, oh my God, Professor Han, he's a professor, he's an academician, he does not know the market, his apartment is 1 million, and now he said he's happy with 0.9 million. Oh my God. And he will jump on it and give me $900,000. Something like that. What about your exam? You just pretend that you don't have an exam, or you can say, oh, you figure out when you're a boy who want to go to baseball park, when your girlfriend has an exam. So bring it up, not the day before your important exam, but the day before your girlfriend exam. And kind of keep bugging her and ask her, no, let's decide today. Let's talk about it like it's a good time, something like that. And your girlfriend say, I don't care. Leave me alone. Just purchase a ticket of the baseball park, whatever, because I'm busy right now. So those things are the deadlines. Okay. What about in our case? Jane want the class at 1 o'clock would be canceled, but let's assume that this is not canceled. Now, is it possible that she can get 40 like when it's canceled, or she has to get 30 as the normal subgame perfect equilibrium here, 70-30, where she has a class? Even though she has a class, she can kind of cheat Sarah, and instead of 30, she can get 40. How? Jane may tell Sarah, oh, I feel very lucky. Before the negotiation at 12:30, my 1 o'clock class is canceled. If Sarah believes on that, Sarah says, oh my God, why the Professor Han already canceled the class? Now, instead of the 70, I should get 60, and I should give Jane 40, otherwise she will not agree with me. So she would offer her 60-40. Jane would say yes, and she and Jane and Sarah eat the pizza, and Jane safely go to the class because the class is not canceled. Jane just lied to Sarah it's canceled, but it's not. So what is important in negotiation is it's not what is the reality, what is the fact. If you can lie or pretend completely and kind of cheat if your counterpart fall for it so that Sarah would be cheated, believe in you, then you can get upper hand in any negotiation. So terror, even though you have a deadline, if you pretend you don't have, and if your opponent believe on that, then your opponent give you a 10 more, the 30 would become 40. Still, you don't have to worry about the deadline. And of course, if Sarah got cheated all the time, it would be wonderful. However, Sarah is not stupid. She is a smart girl. So she may be suspicious to Jane, like, is it really? I mean, I don't think it's canceled. Jane said, no, it's canceled. So they talked to each other, and then what happened? Sarah said, I don't trust you, so I'm not going to offer you 40 because it looks like you have a class. So 30 would be enough, 70-30. Sarah in this case is not 100% sure Jane has a class or Jane is lying, so she's taking some risks. Because if Jane's 1 o'clock class is really canceled, Jane would say no definitely for 70-30. So Jane would say no if it's 70-30, but what if Jane really has a class at 1 o'clock and lied to Sarah? Jane may say, oh, I lied, sorry. 70 is good. She may accept it. Or Jane say, no, my class is really canceled. She lies again. Then she offers not 40 but 30 to Sarah at 12:40. Okay? Because she said no and tried to get 40. Here, Sarah is also wondering, wow, I thought Jane is lying, but she said no. Maybe Jane is not lying. So Sarah would be in agony. It's like when you play a trump game, card game, and Tom and Bill, they are playing it, and Tom said, oh, I have a wonderful card in my hand. That can be true, that can be lie. And Bill says, I don't trust you. Something like that. So Bill bet big money, but Tom, answered it with another big money. So now Bill got anxious. Maybe really Tom has a good card in the hand or not. So this is like a lying game. And this can go on. So the deadline is not good for you. So if you are in negotiation, pretend to be you have no deadline or your deadline is very far away. If that is true, you're lucky. If that is not true, still it's worth trying. So in that case, if your counterpart here, Sarah, believe in it, you win. If she doesn't, you have to decide. Here, Jane is also anxious that if I say no and go, and ultimately I'll get a very small number. So that is like a game for chicken. Like they just lie to each other to the end, and the losing party would be damaged severely. But anyway, so in any negotiation where you pretend to be something that you are not actually that thing, then that includes how bold, how strong you have. Okay? So this is it. But then the thing I have just explained, where Sarah has an incentive to lie and Jane is suspicious about it, that is something we cannot analyze in this subgame perfect equilibrium. That is in the area of incomplete information game. Why incomplete? Because Sarah does not know whether Jane's 1 o'clock class is really canceled or not canceled. So there are two possibilities. It's canceled and not canceled. Until now, even though we do the mixed strategy, but still we know the game, what would happen in Rock against Caesar. But this game, at 1 o'clock, we do not know whether Jane would get 0 or 10. So we do not have complete information about Jane. So that's why we call it incomplete information game. After subgame perfect equilibrium, we are going to deal with that in the end. So, and then this is quite complicated and difficult part. But anyway, we are going to have just taste of it and a little bit more at the end of this semester. But anyway, that is something beyond this subgame perfect equilibrium area, so you don't have to worry so much about that right now. So number one tactic in negotiation is pretend that you do not have a deadline. Okay. We have still two more skills, tactics to improve your position in the negotiation, which I will talk about in the next lecture, and that would be the 24th. And this is the end of lecture 23. And please try this tactics on negotiation in your life. It is fun and it may improve your payoff. Thank you and see you later.